Hello, readers. Just a reminder that this mini lesson is going to be split into two videos. So there are going to be two links that you need to click on to be able to watch the entire mini lesson. So make sure that you are watching each of them in their entirety. Today is April 27th, and today our learning target is I can look at the story from another perspective. So the first place we need to start with is, what is perspective? What does that word mean? Well, perspective means you have to think about whose eyes are seeing this story. Whose thoughts am I hearing? Whose voice would be the voice I would hear if they could suddenly speak out from the pages of my book? And in our case with Number the Stars, we know that that's Anne Marie. Anne Marie is the eyes we're seeing the situation through. We get to see her thoughts, and we get to have her voice be the one that is telling us what's happening in the story. But that doesn't mean that there aren't other perspectives in the story. So let's explore that a little bit. I'm going to tell you a little story. I went to tour my son's school when he was starting kindergarten. And before they put me with the principal, they had a second grader come out and give me a student tour. So I got to be taken around the school with a second grader. And she took me to three places. She asked, "Where do you want to go?" And I said, "Why don't you tell me what's most important to you? Where do you want to show me of the school, in the school?" She took me to three places: the playground, the lunchroom, and the gym. Now on the playground, she said, "This is where I like to play. But the older kids play over there. And so someday when I'm older, I'll get to play on that part of the playground. But right now, this is where the second graders have to play." Then she took me to the lunchroom. And she said, "This is where I sit because I bring a bagged lunch every day. And in my son's school, the kids who bring a bagged lunch sit on a different table than the kids who get hot lunch." She said, "I can't wait because my mom said next year I get to go to the hot lunch line. And I can't wait to eat at the other table." And then the last place she took me was the gym. She said, "This is my favorite place. I love Phi and I think this is the best thing at our school." So that tour ended, and then I went and met with the principal. Now, the principal's tour was also three places. He took me to the front office. He introduced me to the secretary. He introduced me to the women who work behind the desk up there. He showed me where the check-in was for volunteering, and he showed me how to do that on the computer. Then he took me to the reading specialist room and showed me all the work that the reading specialists do with the new kindergartners. And then finally, he took me to the kindergarten classrooms and showed me what those classrooms look like. Now, both of those tours were of important places in the school, but the important part depended on the person who was giving me the tour. So for the student didn't even show me the front office. That wasn't an important place to her. From her perspective, she showed me the three most important places in the school. The principal showed me from his perspective, the three places that he thought were the most important in the school. What was different about those two tours? I want you to pause right now and think about this, or even jot something down in your notebook. What was different between those two tours? So pause and reflect. Okay, you should have paused, and now I want you to do a second exercise. I want you to pretend that you are a bird living in a tree next to Benjamin E. Mays, giving a tour to another bird. So you're a bird, you're giving a tour to another bird of the outside area around Benjamin E. Mays. Now I want you to pause again, and in your notebook or on a scratch piece of paper, I want you to just quickly write down or tell a parent, what would the bird giving the tour to another bird tell them? Pause here.